Hello, I'm Kathy Bissell. Welcome to the Golf Show. Gary VanSickle here is my co-host, and he's going to tell us what we have on tap for today.
Well, later there's going to be a nap. Oh, wait, that's my schedule. We're going to talk briefly about the LIV, who's the biggest surprise among the defectors. We're going to talk with a special guest, Andy Rapp of Foxburg Country Club, the oldest continuously operated golf course in America. It started in 1887. You remember that, Kathy. I think you were a Civil War bride, probably raising some kids about that time, right?
I was not.
Well, I was misinformed. Then we have the big quiz, which will be for Andy Rapp. He will challenge the big quiz. And then we will have the always popular segment, I Predict, where we will make incredulous predictions. So First, we're going to talk about the LIV. Of all the defectors, Kathy, who do you think has been the biggest surprise so far?
Initially, I thought Brooks Koepka was the biggest surprise. But when I saw that his brother Chase was already with LIV, I went, okay, it's a package deal. Sooner or later, they're going to get live. But to me, anybody who's in their late 30s or early 40s and they haven't won a bunch of tournaments or done something spectacular in the last 5 years, those are candidates for live. Anybody in their 40s, absolute candidate. I'm surprised Adam Scott hasn't gone.
Yeah, I thought he was a lock. You know, Chase Koepka and Brooks Koepka being a package deal reminded me of the days when Jack Nicklaus used to play in tournaments just to get either Gary or Jackie Jr. in. And I remember some sarcastic tour pro saying, "Oh, I had a nightmare last night. I dreamed that Jack had 144 sons and none of us could get in a tournament." My biggest surprise has got to be Henrik Stenson, the Ryder Cup captain. You would assume he took that job because he wanted it, and that meant he was not going to defect.
Yes, that's what I thought.
We really remember, he got fleeced out of millions of dollars on 2 occasions. So I can see where he maybe needed the money, and I'm wondering if taking the Ryder Cup captaincy first, maybe he was able to negotiate a higher price because of that. I'd hate to think that, but again, these guys are taking a lot of money. I really can't fault any of them for that, but it was odd that he would take that job and then turn around and do that to him. So I was a little disappointed in that. But again, if somebody was offered me $1 million or even $100,000, I'd probably jump through a flaming dolphin's mouth.
I'd like to see that.
The dolphin wouldn't. It would hurt.
I'm sure, but I would.
Oh, I know. Next up, I forgot to tell you on our intro, it's time for Once Upon a Time, where one of us tells stories of the old days.
Gary, you're old.
Notes about Rick Riley, the famous Sports Illustrated writer who went on to ESPN. Two of them, and Rick is. I've spoken with Rick, and he's agreed to be a guest on a future show.
Super.
But anyways, my favorite Rick Riley story is we were at the British Open. It's Sunday night. He and I are writing magazine stories. He was at SI. I was Golf Week at the time, and those are pretty long stories. We're usually among the later guys there. It's like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. It's 47 degrees. The tent flap for the media center is open. It's getting cold. There's condensation on the keyboard. It's miserable. And, it's running late. Rick stands up, and there's maybe 10 people scattered around the room, and he says very loudly, "I'll trade jobs right now with anyone who's done." And that's how you felt when you're trying to write a big 3,000-word story on deadline. The other one, which Riley would tell better himself, was, but he's not here. He will be, but he was like away for a couple of weeks. He calls his wife and tell her, give her his flight information, tell her when he's coming in. And he, hadn't seen his wife in a while. And he said, "Well, you better bring a mattress. It's been a while. And she told him, you better be first off the plane. And that's when Rick Riley went back to the gate agent and upgraded to first class. Rick would have told that story better. I probably should have let him do it, but we'll get him. We'll get him one of these times. But better than Rick Riley, and also with a better sounding name, is our next guest. He's one of the muckety mucks at Foxburg Country Club, the exalted ruler, Andy Rapp. Let's bring Andy Rapp in and talk about one of the oldest courses around. So, Andy, what were you doing in 1887 when Foxburg Country Club was founded in Foxburg, PA?
I can't remember. Too long ago.
Oh, okay. Kathy, what do you know about this golf course? Anything you want to ask Andy?
Well, I want to ask, where is Foxburg? I'm in Florida, so I have no idea where it is, except Gary every so often drives there to play golf.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on your show.
Sure.
My first podcast ever, so hopefully I do it some justice. Foxburg is located. It's a small village located on the Allegheny River in Clarion County. We're about an hour north of Pittsburgh.
Okay. And well, I know you can get to it because I think Gary was there yesterday trying to play golf, and he said he had an injury problem that didn't allow him to do that. But he sent me some video of the golf course. It looks just beautiful. So how can anything that's as old as 1887 look so nice?
Well, I'd have to say that it's been under the care of a pretty loyal membership, volunteer working group that has just ensured that it's been maintained and it's always been open for 135 years.
Hey, have you? I know there's a debate.
We lost Andrew.
Andy, can you hear us?
I'm here.
He's back.
You're back. Okay, hey, as long as you're back.
I know from writing a story about Foxburg, there's a little bit of debate among a couple other clubs on which club is the oldest. What can you tell us about that? Because I know you've been involved in trying to sort that out.
Yeah, so there's a couple of semantics involved. Foxburg was identified through a pretty extensive investigation. I think USGA was involved. This would have been in the 50s. The oldest in continuous use. So that's a key phrase, in continuous use. Other courses started earlier, but ceased operations and later, unearthed their course. We are the oldest golf course in continuous use. There are older country clubs that have never ceased operations. They may not have had golf, they may have had tennis and the other things of the day, but they would be the oldest country club. So we're just the oldest golf course in continuous use.
Well, now, I heard you had Gary, I'm going to ask him about the Hickory Championship.
Yes, please.
I know you had a Hickory Club Championship there a month ago, maybe a month and a half. Maybe I've got the dates wrong. And the only person I can think of who plays in Hickory Championships is the guy who used to be one of the longest drivers on the PGA Tour, Dennis Paulson. And he said he enjoys playing in Hickory tournaments. So he may not have played in yours, but tell me about the one you had.
Yeah, so each year we host the Foxburg Hickory Championships, and it's played in the second week in August. That is directed by Tom Johnson from Ohio. And then we were recently awarded to be the site of the National Hickory Championships. And Pete Georgity is the director of the National Hickory Championships. So we were the recipient of received the honor of hosting that pretty prestigious event. And so nevertheless, in the spirit of both styles of tournaments, they dress up in pre-1900 clothing, knickers, and they have to walk the course. Now, there are some exceptions made, but it is a throwback. There are two different clubs that they can use, pre-1900 and later models of clubs, but there are two different divisions, and they take it very, very serious. They do not, they're purists. They're the golf purists of the sport, and they're very proud, and they go out there and they grind it out. And Foxburg has proven to be one of the more challenging hickory courses due to its, undulation and slope and some very small greens.
Yeah, you've got some old clubs there, and not only in your hands, but there are some there in the shop, aren't there? Like if I show up tomorrow and I want to play with hickory clubs and some gutta percha balls, can I do that?
Yep. Yeah. We have about 6 sets put together of all the clubs that you'd need. They're not truly, throwback hickories. They're modified. They do have the hickory shafts. The hickory, we have a driver in each set. You'll have a suede leather gripping, and we have a long iron, a chipper, and a putter. And I have a putter in here somewhere. So
have you got a wee mashie or a spoon, lad?
I borrowed this from Phil Mickelson. This is his putter, but this is what a hickory putter would look like. And if you look at Phil's putter, it looks almost the same. So yeah, we offer hickory rentals. With each rental, you get 2 or 3 McIntyre balls that are replicas of the balls of the time. That didn't sound good.
Yeah, that's the problem with golf. If you're a sophomore in high school or still think like one, every sentence you say, there's some kind of sexual double entendre in there. You can't even go there. But yeah,
I'll move this conversation.
I just like saying the word niblick because that's a good old time word. Have you played the course with the old stuff?
I have. I have yet to do all the holes using the throwback clubs, but every year we throw in for 3 holes. We throw in the hickory clubs for one of our events, and every participant has to use. They share a set, and they have to complete 3 holes. And so we do like a low hickory score for 3 holes that are right near the clubhouse, and that's been a hit. And there are some events where they'll come in, like we have a superintendent's outing where superintendents from all over Western PA will come in, and they have an industry day with some industry leaders in their technology in their field, and what they'll do is they'll do a hickory challenge, and they absolutely love it. So I think there's something there with the hickory, but not everybody really is ready to make that leap yet because they're so attached to their modern clubs, and there's some ego involved, wanting to hit it long and far and hard and hear that sound. So, we offer it, that we can offer it for outings. We are a true hickory course, so that's what we are. But the modern player can enjoy it as well.
I have an actual hickory shafted putter made by Odie Chrisman, and I still use that when I play golf. And the reason I like it is that when you hit the ball with that putter, you can feel the vibrations kind of come up the shaft, so you know if you've hit it in the right spot or not. It gives you instant feedback. So I kind of enjoy that part of it, but I've never tried an actual regulation club.
Andy, you and I should go up, and we should get the hickories out, and we should go play 9 holes.
I challenge you.
Oh,
I hope you'll wear +4s when you do that.
We can play for 7 cents a hole, lad.
And a shot of whiskey, all 9 holes.
Hey, so what's your what's your favorite hole at Foxburg Country Club? Just so people get some idea of what it's like. I mean, they can go online. They can go on your website, which is foxburgcountryclub.com. Is that right?
Yeah, we
got some videos on there that they can see that people have done on the course and the hickory stuff.
Yeah, Gary. We have foxburgcountryclub.com. and you can get a course overview there. Favorite hole, I would say there are two, and one could be more of a favorite than the other depending on the time of year. And that's the thing about Foxburg, the time of year. You're going to get two or three different courses throughout the season because it changes. And we do have a lower budget, so we don't constantly try to maintain what every other course is doing. Anyways, to answer your question, number 6 is a favorite. It's a short par 3 with a sloped back green. The name of that is called Putter's Grief. Gary, you know that one all too well. And I'd say probably year round, my favorite is number 7. It's a par 4 that goes downhill, and it's protected by these 3 large mounds with high grass. And there's some old bunkers in the front, and then the green just keeps sloping down. So the way you play it in July is different than the way you play it in April. But then you go over to number 8, and it's a par 3, and it's protected by some huge mounds and some tall grass. But I'd have to say overall, favorite hole is number 7. And Gary, I think you'd agree with me on that one.
It's got that 1887 look. The two mounds that look like the Maginot Line from World War I. And when you played the game on the ground back then, they had to be pretty intimidating. And now the only question is, do I try to drive it over them onto the green? And then if you go over the green, there's a bunker, but there's also, it's also the road. It's also the road hole at Foxburg. The road's on that side. You can hit it out. Or if you lay up, where do you lay up? And no matter where you lay up, that green slopes away from you. It's a hard second shot to keep it on the green. And if you are in the green, you have a hard putt. So, yeah. Why do I want to play Hickory clubs and hit it a third as far? Let me think about this. It seemed like a good idea a few minutes ago. Now I'm not so sure.
Andy, I understand you're doing some fundraising. Are you doing anything exciting like selling national memberships?
Yes. So we've started 2 years ago. We began the Foxburg Golf Preservation, and it is a nonprofit organization specifically to preserve the Foxburg Golf Course. And with that opportunity, we found a need to restore the course, which is going to be a long process, but nevertheless, our job is to create a unique Victorian golf experience. So we think that restoring it to its Victorian roots, which may not take a whole heck of a lot of work, but maybe adding some more Victorian architecture features. We've hired Ron Force, the architect from New Smyrna Beach, Florida, and who is also connected to Pennsylvania in a little bit. He attended West Virginia University, but I don't know if that's possible to see. But
the 1887 project. That's
it. And you can go to our website, www.1887project.org, and you can learn more. You can donate, but we have a massive effort and a campaign to advance the course, but also make it when you walk the course or you play the course, it's an architectural museum. It'll be a very rare experience. And really, and Gary would attest to this, if you're going to experience Foxburg, it is a must walk. It's not easy. I suggest you get a physical before you do so. But
not everyone, just you personally can.
Yeah, just yeah. But Foxburg should be walked and enjoyed and smelled, felt, and just truly experienced. It does have connections to St. Andrews in its history, and not that it was intended to be designed like St. Andrews, because you can't replicate that. It does have connections. It was created in the spirit of St. Andrews after a visit at St. Andrews. Tom Morris and Joseph Fox became friends and sent clubs over. We do have clubs from Scotland in our museum. We are the home of the American Golf Hall of Fame. We do have exhibits there. And in 1965, St. Andrews donated a large lantern that actually, that's it right there. They donated it to the course, and it sits out in front of our clubhouse. And not everybody knows that it's from St. Andrews.
Wow.
It's faded. It's I wish I could just grab it and bring it over here. Oh wait, I did. It's right there.
Security. Someone
Good
has
for
stolen
you.
the lantern.
So the reason
Wow.
the reason I took this down last night was because, number one, it needs restored. And so it's going to go under the project of the 1887 project. This will all be restored. This opens up. There was a St. Andrews crest here. Then there was the American Golf Hall of Fame crest over here. It's copper. And so I'm going to ship that out to a company that wants to restore it.
Will they be able to get it working?
It works.
Oh, it does work. So that lantern is lit while people are on the patio getting lit after their round.
Yes, and sometimes
Excellent.
those people need restored.
We've talked about this. If this was just another golf course or say a small business, it's in the town of Foxburg of what population 900 and some. Location's not great. It's not near a lot of people. It's not near a lot of money. If this was something else, you would just say, "Oh, it's a bad location. Let's just close down." But to me, that when I park my car in front of the 1887 sign there, I mean, I get goosebumps every time. Grover Cleveland was president in 1887, and I think there were only 38 states in the U.S. It's really, there's no place like it in American golf. So I feel like you do. I mean, don't you? You feel like you're on a mission to save Foxburg for future golfers, aren't you?
Absolutely. The whole effort is, the course is largely unchanged from 1887. I mean, minus a stone wall that used to run through it, and the greens getting smaller due to the use of, groundskeeping technology. You mow faster, greens get smaller. There's an obligation here, and I don't think it's not that previous members and board directors overshot that or overlooked it. I just think that what you said, the economy, any revenue gained or netted at the end of a year, it can't go into restoring the course, because you and we all know that course restorations cost upwards of $1 million. You got to have $1 million to get somebody to even think about it. So,
yes.
We've got to give it a facelift. We've got to upgrade the irrigation. We've got to upgrade the maintenance facility. We've got to upgrade the equipment to take care of it. And while that is the need, the opportunity is, hey, while we're at it, let's make this a Victorian throwback, a very rare course seen in today's golf courses in the United States. And so Foxburg already is a secret. It is a destination place where people come to unwind. It's right on the confluence of two rivers, the Clarion and the Allegheny. There's not a lot to do, but that's what people want. People want to come here to not have a lot to do. And what better thing could you do than golf, go hiking on the river trail, bike, relax, unwind, and maybe golf an historic course. So there's an obligation here.
Andy, I have a question for you. Have you considered doing something like, if people want to become national members, and I don't know what your national membership amount is, I'm sure it's on the 1887 website, but if they want to join, do you send them anything like a gutta percha ball? I mean, that would be kind of cool. I don't know if you can do a logo on a gutta percha ball. I think they're all kind of cross-hatched and funny looking, but just a thought.
Yeah, no, your marketing idea is right on the money. And matter of fact, I'm in the middle of drafting a package like that. If you go to the website, you can be, there's different levels of donations, birdie, hole in one, par, et cetera, et cetera. And we're just trying to drive initial funds to get starter money. And we've done that. I think we've raised maybe $82,000 cash. And we've also received upwards of over 900,000 in pledge commitments that have not been codified yet.
That's wonderful.
It is wonderful. And we're going for another $1 million in the spirit of creating an endowment so that we don't have to deal with this again.
So you might want to put Foxburg Country Club in your will, Kathy, while you still have the chance.
Okay.
but yes, Kathy.
I don't know if my daughter will like it, but I'll do that.
Yes, Kathy. One of the next things that we're doing here, we are doing some strategic planning in the near future. We do have to create and create some national maybe one national membership, but we want to make sure that people that buy that national membership get more than just the opportunity to fly in and play Foxburg or a gutty ball. We want them to get, so we have to think this out and think very carefully about what can be involved in this package, because, we might ask for a pretty steep price tag on that national membership. We will add 2 banquets in there, an end of year banquet. Oh. Hopefully we can get some celebrities in, like Gary and yourself.
Hopefully you can do better than that.
Well, I'm hoping
Gary's
you two.
A lot.
I'm hoping you two can help me out with that. But we are looking for help in that manner. There's many areas to help. So we are looking to build our network so that we can have guest speakers come in that people want to be in front of and listen to and have at these end of year banquets. And if you're a National Club member, you're invited to this event, and you're the only one that can attend it. So we are trying to make it exclusive. I'm in the process of designing a donor wall that will be, on the hollow ground somewhere where you can sit and you can see the names of all the people in the 135 years that have donated their time and their money to this course, because really the 1887 project started in 1887.
That's right. Well, thanks for filling us in on all the history. It's really interesting. But now it's time for the big quiz. If you get all 4 questions right, you will be enshrined in the Big Quiz Hall of Fame. If you don't get any of them right, you are enshrined in the Big Quiz Hall of Shame. So I wish
I don't want to put any pressure on you, Andy, but I got 1 right.
Well, if I know Gary, these are going to be borderline on the absurdity here. So go ahead, Gary.
All right.
They are.
First question. You should be able to get this one. What Midwest League baseball team based in Appleton, Wisconsin did Cal Ripken Sr. manage in 1962? Midwest League baseball team in Wisconsin. What's the name of the team?
Cal Ripken Sr.?
Cal Ripken Sr. Cal Ripken Jr.'s dad.
So you want the league or the team?
It's the Midwest League. I want the name of the team. Based in Wisconsin.
Milwaukee Brewers?
No, they were the Appleton Foxes.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the easy one?
Right? You live in Foxburg, right? Okay, number 2.
With dogs barking?
Yeah, who let them out? Oh, wait, I've got an idea for a song. I'll be back. Okay. What gorgeous actress got her start on Soul Train, appeared on the soap opera Days of Our Lives, and had her breakout role in the Will Smith blockbuster movie Independence Day? Big star. Gorgeous.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
No, Vivica Fox.
She's really pretty, but I had no idea what her name was.
Well, then you wouldn't have got it, I guess, would you?
No.
So at this point, I'm already on the Hall of Shame.
You're 0-2. Oh, wait. I forgot you didn't get the traditional buzzer when you got the question wrong. So here's question number 1. And here's number 2. Number 3, I'm confident you're going to get this one. On the TV show The Rookie, starring Nathan Fillion. Where is Nathan Fillion's character supposedly from?
He is from the town of Foxburg, Pennsylvania.
Unbelievable. Ding. You got one.
Seriously?
You got to get him back. Hey, look, you've got to have a Nathan Fillion Foxburg Open. And even if you just get him to do a Zoom call, that's good enough. You'll get some publicity. Just we got to have, and even if you can't even get a hold of him, you should schedule a Nathan Fillion Foxburg Open right now.
Absolutely.
All right, last question. So we had Fox's, Vivica Fox, and Foxburg. Last question. If you remember the TV show, The X-Files, what was the name of the more skeptical member of the two characters who starred in that sci-fi show?
His probably last name ends in Fox.
No. Might be a first name, though. I guess you didn't watch The X-Files.
I don't do TV, brother.
Well, I'll give you a hint. The two characters' names were Fox Mulder and Dana Scully.
Never even heard of them.
Okay, do you want to take a guess on one of those two?
Damian Scully.
Dana Scully is the correct answer. You're supposed to obviously say Fox Mulder, but you didn't. I can't believe you never heard of The X-Files.
I've heard of it, but I just,
Well, you got two right, but I had to give you a strong hint, so that's pretty good.
I watched two episodes of Quantum Leap when I was younger.
That's good. Well, we're going to give you 1.5, which makes you the new leader in the clubhouse in the history of the big quiz. Now we're going to the final segment. It's time for I Predict, where each of us will make a prediction of world importance or possibly total irrelevance. And let's start with Kathy Bissell.
I predict my microphone will start working again. Are you able to hear me?
We can hear you. Not great, but we can hear you.
Well, my earplugs just went. Boop. So that's all I've got for now. You have to
okay, so you have no prediction?
I predict the rainy season will soon start in Florida because we haven't had our afternoon rains like we should have.
Okay, I can see you put in a lot of preparation for that one question. Let's move on to Andy Rapp. Andy, it's time for I Predict.
I predict that Charlie Woods will win his first major at the age of 20. And when he does that, I predict Live Golf will officially fold.
Wow.
Great prediction.
I predict that you and I are probably never going to get around to playing our match with Hickory clubs. But if we do, I predict I'm going to lose.
Okay, Gary, you have to close the show.
I have to close the show because Kathleen has become inoperable. And Andy's, he's a guest. He didn't know how to close the show. So that's it for the Golf Show 2.0. Thanks to Andy Rapp of Foxburg and 1887project.org, Kathy Bissell, longtime Golf Show original Golf Show founder, and myself, Benito Mussolini. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for having me.